Are you hearing from these nations, do you have any kind of read about, even though they may not be fans of the Iranian regime, fears they might have around it imploding?
Well, they are absolutely not fans of the Iranian regime, and you're seeing some fairly sharp statements come out of both Saudi Arabia, the UAE, with respect to strikes that Iran has already taken, retaliatory strikes on U.S. targets in their countries. But that said, I think there's no doubt that this is a nightmare scenario for the neighboring Gulf countries. This is precisely what they had been hoping against and had been working diligently behind the scenes in order for negotiations and diplomacy to be successful. I heard early this morning from an Omani contact who said this is the worst scenario that we had feared playing out. And look, it's still early days. It's really hard to say exactly how the various repercussions are going to unfold. But I think this is going to get a lot more complicated in the coming days and perhaps even weeks.
Mona, I'm wondering what your assessment was of the impact on Iran's nuclear program after that first round of strikes, because the president came out and said, we destroyed those facilities, we obliterated them. Nuclear experts I talked to were less sure. We're now talking about Iran having been able to build those back very quickly. Is that assessment accurate? And we also heard the president say there was an imminent threat. Was that breakout time that much different than it was 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago?
I don't think so. I mean, I think surely the president said obliterated for his own political reasons last June. But by all accounts, the nuclear facilities did sustain some amount, if not significant damage. And more importantly, there were no intelligence reports suggesting that Iran was imminently going to have a nuclear weapons capability. On the contrary, the negotiations that were ongoing were in fact focused on whether and how Iran might be willing to compromise its ambitions, potentially even down to zero enrichment. Now, it's not at all clear that we were there, and indeed, by many accounts, we were far apart. But I do think it's very hard to make the case that there was an imminent threat of Iranian nuclear capabilities.